Alright, we are back on sports, and I want to say this right now before I get started, because I have a lot to show everyone today. Before I get started, I want to address certain things, alright, because we're going to start with Premier League, but it's going to segue into it. So I want to get started, because ever since I got back from London, I've had a lot of people ask me, Event, why are you a Chelsea fan all of a sudden? Why do you cheer for Chelsea? I've seen this in the comments, in sports videos, and in gaming videos. A lot of people have been asking me this, so I'll explain, alright? I'll knock this out the park real quick, alright? My time in London, I spent at in Earl's Court, okay? And for those who don't know, that's a high Chelsea area. Now, when I got there at first, I didn't know it was a Chelsea area, okay? When I booked my reservations and everything, it wasn't, oh, that's a Chelsea area, so that's going to be cool. I didn't know. When I got there, there were a mass amount of Chelsea fans and Arsenal fans, all right? Now, I had asked on Twitter, I had asked you guys and girls, you know, because I said, who's the home team here in this designated area? Who are people rooting for in this area? And a lot of people said, you know, Chelsea. Some people said, but Arsenal's the better team and fan rivalry. But it was Chelsea because they were closer. I will put it like this. My time that I spent, you know, throughout the time I was there, I spent a lot of time in pubs. And I will say this right now, because I was a free agent, because like I said, you guys know, when I covered Premier League before, you know, way before, I wasn't a fan of any team. You know what I mean? I was absolutely neutral. You know, I watched every game, and for those that follow me on Twitter, as we talked over the weekend, you know, I was still watching these games neutral, you know, at times, even though I was rooting for certain teams, but still, you know what I mean? I was still watching these games, so it doesn't matter who plays, I'm still going to watch these games, okay? Now, I will put it like this. When I asked that, and, you know, and Chelsea fans, when I spent so much time in the pubs, especially at the Blackbird, a lot of Chelsea fans, they were very welcoming. They were very warm to me, you know what I mean? They were very, just took me in pretty much with open arms, and they asked me a lot of questions about what was going on here in America. A lot of it was just, you know, good times, great camaraderie that I saw at pubs. That was really cool. It's something that we don't really see here in Philadelphia. Yeah, we have the Sons of Ben when it comes to the Philadelphia Union, but it's nothing compared to being out there. Okay, I'm saying that right now. Okay, so as being a tourist and wanting to pick up certain things, of course you pick up some touristy things as it goes along. However, the fans after a point was like, oh no, you're part of this fan base now. We're taking you in. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts. Chelsea or die. You are with us. Here's a beer. Have fun. Watch the game. You know what I mean? Get to know such and such. And it was great, you know, great to see that people were just so welcoming. You know, I actually felt very welcome the entire time I was there. So, you know, as opposed to here in Philadelphia where everyone just snubs you off. So, you know, it was one of those things where it was like, okay, this is the fan base. They took me in. I was the free agent. That's it. I'm a Chelsea fan now. You know what I mean? So I'm going to support it regardless. Now, I will say this. Ever since that, a lot of people, like I said, they've been saying Chelsea isn't the team. You shouldn't, you know, root for them. You should root for the Gunners. Or you should root for Man City. I've seen a lot of people say a lot of things in comments or send me messages about it. I just never addressed it, so I'm addressing it today, of course. So, you have to understand that within all of this, all right, what happened over the week, you know, the previous week, since I'm doing this, you know, video now, was very disheartening to watch. And for those who don't know what happened, Chelsea fans were being racist towards other people, all right? And I say this, towards other people, we're talking black people when it comes to trying to get on the train. As you can hear in the video, they're saying we are racist. So they're admitting that they're racist. And I say this because, and I have a number of links in the info bar that I want to talk about that I will put in there for you, okay? Because there's a fan that says, who witnessed this in Paris, the Metro instance, says that the fan wasn't pushed off of the train because he was black, but because he was a PSG fan. I don't believe that one bit, especially when they're already chanting, we are racist, all right? Now, of course, some people can probably come to defense of them and say, hey, you know, they're just saying that to be a smartass, but I don't buy that. And you want to know why? Because here's another link that says, all right, that more Chelsea fans arrested for racist chants than any other Premier club home. That's right, and this is in the league. So it goes to show you that there is a problem with racism. Now, also, I want to say this right now, because there's another link where the trust chairman condemns the depressing incident at the past Metro and says that the vast majority of Blue fans are not racist, all right? Now, of course, they want a clean image. However, I will say this. When you are saying things like that, and fans, granted, they have a track record of arresting fans, but during this time of the incident, nothing has happened yet? That's right, because nothing happened at the time that this was said. People are going to be like, oh, so you're pretty much endorsing that, it's okay to have racist fans. I will put it like this, okay? There are racist fans everywhere. Doesn't matter if it's football. It doesn't matter if it's baseball. Doesn't matter if it's basketball. Here in Philadelphia, remember, back in was it 2010, 2011, where I had that problem with that racist Eagles fan? Remember, in 2010, I did that video where I said, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, blah, 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 whether you're a team or fan base, you are fans. You are together. It does not matter because you're rooting for your team. Now, granted, Philadelphia has their share of racists. Every place around the world is going to have their share of racists, okay? But for this person to say something like that when no action is taken, people are going to take the piss out of them. They're going to. You know what I mean? And they have every right to. However, I will say, since this has happened, all right, those fans have been found, have been arrested, and have been banned for life from Chelsea games. Because, as they feel, they don't have any room when it comes to this. Now, you should know, especially overseas, I'm talking to my Americans right now, overseas, when you watch football, you have to understand that they've dealt with a lot of racism a lot of times. If you've watched the World Cup or if you watch any type of big event when it comes to football, they always have banners up and everything saying, stop racism and this is equality. And Chelsea actually did that on Saturday. And for those who didn't see the game, this is exactly what happened when Chelsea decided they needed to, to send a message, I should say, towards everyone to show them that, hey, we support equality. I'm sure a lot of people, support equality. However, we saw not too long ago, Balotelli, he was crying because he was being heckled about his race on the pitch, all right? So we know that it really does exist. However, I will say this. Because we saw this, support Chelsea, support equality, I said on Twitter, I was like, I find that kind of funny. It's kind of after what's happened. And a person reached out to me and was like, I don't find that funny at all because, it's a very serious issue. I think that person didn't understand why I felt it was funny. Because for those who didn't understand the underlying joke, because other people were taking shots at Chelsea in their ball clubs. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, we're talking about West Ham. This is what they said about Chelsea.
Action. It's how we do it at West Ham. Can I get on the train, sir?
This is West Ham, my friend. On your car.
Thank you.
So as you can see, that's why it was funny to me. So you have to understand that when you have fans of of other fan bases taking lighthearted parodies, little digs at Chelsea, I think that that's okay due to the fact that within all this seriousness, there's always still room to laugh. You can't lose your sense of humor at times, and it also shows that there's people out there who feel as though there's always hope that it'll get better. That's why. However, within Chelsea, going into this game, it felt like that those emotions from the fan base and things that they went through, and the fans wanting the team to win, it started to boil over because you start noticing during the game, a lot of calls were missed by referees, and they were, all right? We're not just talking about your average flop, however. We're talking bad fouls that weren't called, and they were just letting them play, and it got to a point where players they got frustrated and they started attacking other players.
Always a hallmark of the Sean Dyche team. Created a half opportunity there, as Barnes has called Matic, whose reaction might get him into trouble. Now Martin Atkinson has got a decision to make here. It was a very poor challenge from Barnes in the first place, but Matic's reaction might see him sent off here. Chelsea down to 10 men. Nemanja Matic sent off for retaliation. And Chelsea will have to play the last 20 minutes or so a man light.
Well, it's a mad reaction from Matic. But again, look at Barnes again, following through. He's over the top of the ball. He's made a few of these challenges this afternoon and got away with them. And that, without doubt, is over the top of the ball because he's followed through. Matic is incensed. There's the push. Push is over. Ashley Barnes says, what's all that about? And he said...
So yes, Matic is out. And as you can see, since he got a red card, he was out of the game. They were down 10 men. He's out of the finals now. Also, if you didn't pay attention, the player... his teammate is trying to stop the referee from giving him a red card. And when you grab the referee like that, guess what? Now he gets a card. So he got a yellow card as well. So Chelsea is down with 10 men throughout the rest of the game, and they didn't lose this game. They should have, personally, it felt like they lost. And I say this due to the fact that they should have won this game with no problem. But they ended up tying this game, and then we move forward. And, you know, it's getting to the point where it's getting so sickening to watch this because consistently for the previous, I'll say 3 games now, they have played so damn complacent, and I'm getting tired of it. Chelsea came out early in this game with some fire, and I like to see that. But as soon as they scored, they stopped. And he played this counteract game where he just want to stay back, play defense, and counter. And then guess what? When you get tired, these guys kept attacking, and you finally open up the chance to score because you didn't have that extra man. This is what happens. I am so sick and tired of seeing this. Chelsea, you really need to get on the ball here. I understand because a lot of people say, you know, your 11 is world class, but after that, it's done. You have other people saying that, hey, their bench is deep. They have depth. So I put it like this. Regardless what it is, right now, it looks like you lack this. It's not talent you lack. It's heart. You gotta be kidding me if you're gonna sit back and let this happen. You've got ball clubs are tying you or beating you that shouldn't be. It's ridiculous. And then Man City comes along and destroys Newcastle because you left the door open for them. You gotta be kidding me. This is something that cannot, it's unacceptable at this point. You've got to get back on track if you decide you are going to win this. And I say decide, not want, not need. Decide. Because you hold your fate. That's what it comes to. Speaking of fate, I'm going to move on to the Sixers and their garbage-ass trades. For those who did not, oh my God, the Sixers. I cannot believe that they decided that they were going to trade MCW and KJ McDaniels. You've got to be kidding me, Sixers. But listen to the media, and I'm going to break this down. Listen to the media, how they sit here and justify why these players should be traded.
People, even though he was constantly bandied about in trade rumors, I think this comes as sort of a shock for people because you look at it on the face, you go, why would they trade the Rookie of the Year? Well, one, it was a weak rookie class, frankly. And 2, and this is not an insignificant thing, he plays the deepest position in the NBA. I'm not sure he's a top 20 point guard in the NBA because of his shooting issues. Yeah, and
hold up. So now the excuse for trade MCW, you try to say, oh, well, he was Rookie of the Year, but it was a weak rookie class. You didn't have a problem promoting that the entire time here in Philly, though, right? All those commercials, we got the Rookie of the Year. We got this. We got that. You know that the cornerstone of the Sixers, all right, this was building around MCW, Noel, and Joel. Don't sit here and tell me that we just imagined this all of a sudden. Remember when they traded Drew Holiday, and what did I say? I said that was a bad move. And everyone was like, chill, God, no, we got MCW. It's good. It's good. It's going to work out. How did that work out now? See, every time we hear that the Sixers are on the mend, you know, this is about building the future. I've been saying this for what, 3 years, 4 years now? Oh, it's always this, the youth. We'll talk about that in a minute, okay? But I will say this. Understand that he says, well, I don't know if he's even a top 20 point guard. He is the Rookie of the Year. He has to grow. That's what happens. But his shooting is bad. Well, that's why you have shooting coaches, to get better. You act like this guy has already hit his ceiling. Rookie of the Year. But now you want to blame the entire landscape of rookies on MCW winning. That's what we work with, huh, media? I'm getting real sick and tired. It's always an excuse with these people when it comes to, well, we should be okay with promoting the organization. And clearly, when they're doing wrong. You know what? Let's move forward and see what else they have to fucking say.
Brett Brown is in year 2. Sam Hinkie is in year 2. We're looking now at how many years before Brett Brown made sure he got a 4th year in his deal because he wanted to see this thing to fruition. Not enough. Get more. Not enough. So
go back and ask to renegotiate, buddy.
I mean, surely you can do something inside of 4 years where you will be a viable playoff team. I mean, I would have thought that. Now you're telling me no? He's telling us no, and there's Sixers fans who are, some are all about in Hinkie we trust. I get that, but others are. They're just bringing this team down to the foundation and below, and putting off the future even further.
Well, all I will say is that if we look at the past, I don't care how long you want to go, youth does not win championships in this league. I mean, it's just the truth of the matter. So eventually, either you have to let your guys grow up and keep them as your guys, or go out and do it not just with assets of picking through the draft, but go and acquire free agents or trades for veteran guys if you're going to win in the near future.
Yeah. So even they say Brett Brown won't be around long enough. So you tell me you can't put a squad together in 4 years? First, I said this last week he wouldn't be around long enough to see this go through. Did I not? Yeah, but that's okay. And you know what? I'm happy that D-Lineham said what I've been saying also for years, okay? Because when I said, remember, when I said against Malik Rose, and I said, you know, he said, oh, the youth, they're going to be great, the youth. And I said, the youth don't win championships, son. And what happened? All those little ass kissers came out of the woodwork. Don't you talk about Malik Rose like that? Who are you to say something? Someone who knows fucking basketball, that's who. It's common sense. You need vets, and you need a bench. You need free agency to guide you through with these young guys. That's what you need. Okay? So if you're going to push the youth, which we have seen the Sixers do, we're young, we got this. Don't sit here and tell me that this is about winning championships. It's about entertainment instead of winning championships. That's what it is. But speaking of vets, you know, because we need vets to come here, you mean the same vets that don't want to come here? Need I remind people that when Danny Granger was traded, that he didn't want to come here? Remember that? And the Sixers had to buy him out? Remember, just not too long ago, you traded Davies because, you know, the youth. You traded Davies for Andre Karolinko, who didn't even show up here? And then the thing is, the Sixers had the nerve, had the gall, over the weekend to say, the Sixers waived Andre Karolinko. Yeah, they had the nerve to say that. Newsflash, Sixers, Andre Karolinko waived you way before you waived him. Okay? That's what it comes down to. The fact is, nobody wants to come here, and JaVale McGee is only here because you're paying him $16 million. And people know, whoever's been Sixers fan knows since the Chris Webber era, you know, the only time people come here, vets come here, is to get paid, not to win. You know this by now. And yet when I say this, it's like, oh, well, you know, it seems like you don't know what you're talking about, but no, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And the fact that I've been saying this for years, and now it's all panning out. Now the media has an epiphany that, oh, this is right. This is all of a sudden it's come to us. It's been common sense for a very long time. But you have a lot of stupid fucking fans listen to what the media has to say because, you know, they have to, you know, go by certain guidelines. And after speaking with some of the media, personally myself, they say, hey man, we would love to say what you're saying, but we can't say these things on the air because they have to honor certain things. But it seems like people don't understand that. No. They don't understand that. But the vets, though, the vets. When y'all get some vets, y'all come back to me. I've seen fans already say, you know what? This team is dead to me. I'm done. I've been a fan for a long time. Joel Embiid coming out talking about some trust in the plan, trust in the plan. What plan? They don't have a fucking plan. They don't anymore. They have no direction. All they're doing is trying to stockpile draft picks, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, all right? But first, let's get on KJ McDaniels and why he was going, well, I should say why he was traded as well.
And then the final pick, KJ McDaniels, has become a fan favorite in a short amount of time to sign a one-year contract, rookie, swingman, and he is traded to the Houston Rockets as the Sixers get Isaiah Cannon and a 2015 second-round pick from Houston. So when you look, these are the three.
The message for me in this one is that they do not like not having the power over your contract.
Yes.
Right.
So if anybody is looking at this, if you want to negotiate from this point forward as a young player with the Sixers, know that this, if you opt like KJ did for the 1 year, which he has every right to do, your time is probably short.
As one or both of you look, this is the 5th time that a Rookie of the Year has won the award and then traded the very next year.
Yeah, it's definitely a surprising thing. The two trades that you can definitely debate are the MCW one and also the KJ trade. As Dee said, this to me signals that they didn't want to deal with his contract issue coming up in the offseason.
Even though he's restricted.
Even though he's restricted, they could have brought him back. And look, he's going to be in line for a payday just because he's restricted and he plays the wing position, which is obviously the thinnest position in the league. I don't think it would have been a prohibitive payday.
I didn't either.
But clearly they decided it's not worth the hassle, so let's get rid of him. That one, to me, is the most questionable move of the three.
Now, though it does sound like media speculation, if this is true because the Sixers don't want to handle his contract, that goes to show you the type of ego they have. If a player who has every right to have that type of contract, all right, it's his decision, you're telling me we don't want to deal with this, even though he's a good player. Because remember, in the videos, other Sixers videos I did this year, all right, I said, who are the bright spots on this team who have potential? KJ McDaniels, Davies. Did I not say that? And yet both of them are already gone. But I'll put it like this. If you're going to tell me that it's because of his contract, because it's a 1-year contract that you're going to have to pay up. You know, because remember, he's an Andre Iguodala type, but he's better. He's younger, but he's better. All right? That's what we were told. And for those who've been watching Sixers games for, this season, you can see the guy can play. He plays with a lot of heart as well. So it's not like he's just sitting around I'm all offense. No. If you watch this guy play, there's already highlights of this dude, all right? So he can play. And the fact that you let a talent like that go, what the fuck is wrong with you, Sixers? Because you don't want to deal with this contract? Are you serious? That's absolutely ridiculous. So it was okay back in the day to give Kyle Korver a ton of cash when he wasn't as good as he is now. It was okay back in the day to give Willie Green a ton of cash, for back then and he wasn't as good. If you look at the contract setups of what we've seen over the years from other general managers and people in power, and you see this from time and time and time, ever since the Iverson era has been over, it has not gotten better. It hasn't. These draft picks are a fucking joke. They're a joke. And people keep riding high on these fucking draft picks and make no sense to me. And I say this because you have to understand that all these draft picks are not just for this year, right? I want to talk about this because listen to what the fuck ESPN has to say about these draft picks.
And the Philadelphia 76ers, I got to hand it to them. They now have 8 draft picks in this draft coming up. That's good for a football team to have 8 draft picks in a draft.
And you have to also understand that some of these draft picks are protected picks. Some of these draft picks are not even for this year. It depends. You may get it 2-3 years down the road. You understand that, look, people understand this really quickly, all right? For them to sit here after we just talked about the youth and just talk about how you need a veteran bench and free agencies, they've got 8 draft picks. We can pick the youth. We can get all this stuff. And it's the same thing over and over. It is a revolving door with no plan. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And how do Philadelphia fans act? Look how fucking stupid they are to keep falling for this bullshit plan. It is impossible to be that stupid. Or, you can just go to the stadium, pay $5 for a damn ticket and paint yourself up like a dumbass. Is that what you want to do? You've got to be kidding me that you are still on board with this plan. You know what? I don't even want to call you stupid at this point. I want to call you drunk. There's no way in hell you can sit here and say, this is okay. Just keep trading these players. We have potential. Drew Holiday was an all-star. Traded him. MCW's Rookie of the Year. Traded him. Then we just keep trading people, and it'll be okay. Because eventually the future will come. Oh, next decade. Maybe the decade afterwards. It makes no sense. At some point, you have to say enough is enough. The people here in Philadelphia are not losers. All right? We don't take to losing. We don't take to tanking. You understand this is a city that prides themselves off fighting hard. And these Sixers are not playing hard. They're not showing any heart. They're not doing anything but sitting around and getting paid. You've got to be kidding me. You're killing me here. It's fucking bullshit that you think that this is all right. But that's okay because fans are still okay with the Sixers, blah, blah, blah. Look, I've stopped watching Sixers games after this year. This season, I'm done with the season. I'm not watching the rest of the season. Maybe next season they'll do something. Like I said, other people have already written them off for the rest of their life. Here in Philadelphia, it's absolutely crazy. And I'm just beyond just how, at some point you gotta say that nothing surprises you, but then you see shit like this and it still surprises you. It's one of those things. The people of Philadelphia deserve better. Some people are already saying, sell the team. Whatever, at this point. You've got to be kidding me. Hinkie, you're a fucking joke. You are. For doing this. I'm not trying to hear, but the future. No, it's a wrap. It's a wrap as far as I'm concerned. I'm done with this, man. I need to laugh at something. Let's start with the Griffin Force flop of the week. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you 2 because of all this. I need at least 2, okay? We're going to talk about soccer. Watch Abby Wambach as she flops her way and then complains that she wants a call for it. That's not the worst flop. No, we're going to throw it back this time. And I'm talking about the football. Watch this player get tapped and decides, okay, well, this guy's on the ground. I'm just going to flail on the ground afterwards. You got me. And then you wonder why people say football needs to be cleaned up. You gotta be kidding me here. I mean, anyways, look. I want to move on. I want to talk MMA. I have some news for you. I'm going to read you off the links to the info bar because of the fact that there's some things I need to talk about, okay? I want to talk about Anderson Silva, okay? For those who don't know, Anderson Silva has now failed his second drug test. That's right, his second drug test. Also, he tested positive for anxiety and insomnia medication following UFC 183. Look, I don't have a problem with him testing positive for anxiety and insomnia because, let's be honest here, as a fighter, those things really get to you. You're always amped up. You're always, yes, you need something to calm down. Sometimes it takes some anxiety medicine. Like I said, I'm on anxiety medicine and insomnia medicine. Like, it happens, okay? So, like I said, as a fighter, you do need it. I don't take it all the time, but clearly, at his high level of what he's fighting, he needs that. However, testing positive for a second time is absolutely ridiculous because that's separate to what I'm talking about, okay? That is absolutely ridiculous. So now you can't even say, oh, it was just a fluke thing, it was a one-time, because he was tested, I believe, 3 times. He tested positive once for, the drug test. He tested negative, and then he tested positive again. So it goes to show you that 2 out of 3, he's been doing something. Now, I want to talk about this due to the fact that in 2014, Anderson Silva said, and I quote, positive steroid tests should mean no more fights for fighters. That's what it should mean. So that was 2014, Anderson Silva said that. Oh, how times have changed. If we go by his logic, he wouldn't be able to fight anymore. Just saying, all right? Also, I want to say this now. Anderson Silva has been pulled from the Ultimate Fighter Brazil coaching staff. He will not be coaching. Nog will be doing it. And speaking of Nog, for those who don't know what happened last night when it came to UFC Fight Night with Mir versus Bigfoot, because Bigfoot dedicated this fight to Nog because he said he was going to, he's going to finish off Mir. And as we saw within a minute and 40 seconds, Mir knocks out Bigfoot. That's what he does. And it was an absolute joke as far as I'm concerned, because you've got to be kidding me that you're feinting with a left jab and you throw a left hook after the feint left jab, all right? And Bigfoot does not see this. And here's the thing, all right? Because if you watch when Frank Mir hits him, he doesn't even hit him with a legit hook. And I say this because it's all arm, all shoulder. Anyone knows when you throw a hook, you turn. You turn your hip, because that's where the velocity is coming from. The reason why I tell you to turn your hip when you're throwing a hook is because you don't burn out your arm and burn out your shoulder. That's why. So if you do a standard left hook like that without turning your hip, guess what? That's just to put someone in check. That's just to clip them real quick. That's not to really damage somebody when you turn your hip. To turn your hip gives your body momentum, and it doesn't take so much energy. It doesn't burn so much energy off of your arm when you're throwing. That's the difference. Frank Mir didn't really turn his hip. He just clipped, Bigfoot, and Bigfoot was just like, oh, and he went down. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, he barely hit you. And he went down, and then he got destroyed. And, Mir got on the ground, and that was over. As far as I'm concerned, that fight was a joke. Because you've got to be kidding me. Look, we all know that Bigfoot's chin isn't really that great. However, you've got to be kidding me that a guy is hitting you with a clipping hook, and you fall completely down and don't know where the hell you're at. This is ridiculous. Have you not done any sparring? Have you not? Like, seriously, you get hit by guys bigger than you in the ring. I think Frank Mir is almost the same size as Silva, all right, when it comes to height and weight, all right? So when you're sparring against someone, and I've always said this, when you spar against someone that you're getting ready for a fight, a guy your size, you spar with people who are bigger and heavier than you so you can take that punishment, that strength, and then you spar with someone who's smaller and faster than you so you get that speed. There is a difference. That's how you train. So when you fight your opponent that is your size, you already have taken worse damage-wise, and you fought faster. That's the difference. That's how you train. So I don't know what type of training, regimen that Bigfoot was on, but for me, it was a joke. It was a joke to see that happen. Really, it was just like, wow, it's over that quick. It's one thing if everyone was just going out in their shield and just throwing and throwing, but as you can see, Bigfoot wasn't even settled. It was a feeling out moment. That first couple minutes, it was just like, all right, I'm feeling you out, and that's all it was. And then he just clips him real quick, and he's like, oh, and he just felt like, get out of here with that, man. Like, no, I'm sorry. For me, that's really bad. It just is. All right, I really want to move on, and I want to talk about boxing. I want to talk about this. I know a lot of people want me to talk about Mayweather Pacquiao. I'll talk about Mayweather Pacquiao, okay? Mayweather Pacquiao. First off, I'll say this now. I'm happy that it's signed. I just want to see a fight. I don't care who wins. I understand people want to know who I think is going to win, but I will put it like this, all right? This fight is 6 years too late. It is. Mayweather has, because people say, oh, he's going to knock him out, or he's going to knock him out. Mayweather hasn't knocked out an opponent since 2011, and Pacquiao hasn't knocked out an opponent since 2009. So I don't know why people think this is going to be a knockout match. No, this is going to be a chess match. Now, we can talk pros and cons, okay? Pacquiao is a little bit sluggish compared to his last fight, okay? However, Mayweather prides himself on defense. We all know this. However, there's times where Mayweather gets so focused on defense that he leaves people open to tee off on him at times. He does, instead of taking that advantage and countering. Now, I will put it like this. That could be towards Pacquiao's advantage when it comes to, getting the 1-2 slide, dash to side, 1, 2, 3, 4. You never know how it's going to work in his favor. However, Mayweather is a tactician. You should know by now. He's going to try and download you for the first 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 rounds, get your style, and then work on it. You know what I mean? And then dominate from there. That's what he does. I expect Mayweather to win this fight, not because I hate Pacquiao, because I think Pacquiao still has a fighting chance, because Pacquiao brings the fight to you. He does. He's a high risk, high reward type person. As we see, he's also a high risk. If you whiff and you mess up, that's it. You know what I mean? So, but he takes that risk. Mayweather won't take that risk, and that's the thing. So I will put it like this. This is going to be a good match. I will watch it. However, they're talking about charging $90 for the fight. Are you serious? Mayweather's getting paid, what did they say, $120 million? Pacquiao's only getting $80 million because Mayweather's the 8th fighter since he hasn't lost, and Pacquiao has lost, to Bradley and to Marquez. So he's the B-side fighter. So he's only getting $80 million. However, we will see what the gate does. You know what I mean? Like this is going to be a big payday. I've seen people talk about how, this is going to revitalize boxing. This could bring boxing back. Boxing has gone nowhere. If you look at the people who are the top paid athletes of, in the list, boxing's still up there. So for people who don't understand, I want to also put it like this. You have boxing, and I'm going to segue into this now. Boxing is on TV a lot now. You have Showtime, you have HBO, you have Fox Sports 1 with Rock Nation Sports. I will talk about that right now. Rock Nation Sports, for me, is a joke. It's a joke. For those who did not see Jay-Z and Rihanna put on this Rock Nation, sports this Rock Nation boxing, it was horrible. And I understand that Andre Ward just signed with Jay-Z. He did, all right? And was it Golovkin? He wants to fight Ward. But if anyone saw his fight over the weekend, he just called out Miguel Cotto, which is actually, if I feel it, will be a better fight, okay? Ward hasn't been in the ring now, God knows how long. However, Rock Nation boxing or sports, whatever the hell you want to call it, okay? The boxing matches were not that good. They weren't, all right? But in the middle of these boxing matches, you're having rap acts come out and do songs. Fabulous came out and was rapping. In my new album, I'm going to come out and sing this song. Who cares? You got Angie Martinez, and I love Angie Martinez, coming out and and doing the commentary, the ring announcing and things of that nature. I don't have a problem with that. I understand that you want to put those people on, but you do not need rap acts as some type of intermission before boxing. That is horrible. You already have it as it is, where rappers come out during the intros for the boxers. You don't need it. Look, I'm putting like this. I just felt it was too gimmicky. That's what I felt. It wasn't boxing as much as it was, hey, we're going to give you rap/whatever combo because we're trying to cater to a specific demographic. When you don't need to cater to a specific demographic because it's already there. It's been there for years. So for me, it felt a little disrespectful, However, like I said, you have it on Showtime, HBO, you have it on Fox Sports 1, you have it on CSN, and now you're getting ready to get it on NBC Sports, and I want to talk about this Premier League boxing. For those who don't know, you got Broner, you got, Garcia, you got Thurman, you got Guerrero, you got some of the big-time boxers, the up-and-coming big-time boxers coming March 7th also, they play boxing on ESPN still, Friday Night Fights. So, boxing has always been around. You cannot tell me that boxing is dying when you have it on like 5 stations. And now, especially since they're taking the free market, and I said this how long ago, boxing needs to go the way of UFC and have these free fights. Don't put it at pay-per-view because that's what's killing you. The super fight was killing boxing. Now, you put on standard cable and or premium channels, and that's fine. That's all you need. That's all. And people will watch boxing. Watch the popularity skyrocket again. That's what you need. You're doing the right thing, NBC Sports. I will be watching March 7th to watch those fights. They look like they're going to be great. But Rock Nation Sports, whatever, you need to get yourself together. Sid, you really need to get yourself together. I want to move on, and I want to talk about refs. And someone, a lot of people asked me, but specifically one person asked me on Twitter, he's like, hey, are you going to blame the refs this week? And I said, yep, I'm going to do the segment, blame that ref. And for those who know what I'm talking about, the NBA again. How do you not call this ref? It is a break. It's pretty much a breakaway, just like in hockey. You break away, it's a steal by yourself, and the guy travels, and you don't call this. But you don't want to be criticized, huh? Some people should be fined for criticizing you, huh? You've got to be kidding me. This is what I mean. But for some reason, the NBA, like I said, they'll let people get away with certain things because the entertainment factor as opposed to basketball, because clearly that's a travel. You can't tell me that's not a travel. I'm sure we can all see. You can slow it down as much as you want and see that's a damn travel. Like I said, when you have that type of breakaway, you know what, speaking of hockey, I want to talk about this real quick. Hockey fans, I understand that over the weekend, you had Hockey Day in America, and lo and behold, Philadelphia still doesn't have any festivities for Hockey Day in America. Matter of fact, a good amount of America doesn't have any festivities for Hockey Day in America. I find this very disturbing due to the fact that you plug this every year, and yet it has not caught on when it comes to sports communities. And I say this for any sports community or any sports city who says, we're a big sports city. Yes, because now I'm calling you out on it, especially here in Philadelphia, okay? And what did I say? Over the weekend when we had that bad snow, I said on Twitter, I said this would be a great time to go out and put on the skates and go play some ice hockey outside, you know what I mean? In the snow, and the wind, and get into it in the thick of it, because that's what you used to do. But wait, we don't have that here. We don't. All right? We don't have any type of outdoor skating rinks unless it's the river rink, you know what I mean? Which they don't even really hold hockey, hockey there. People just go out there to play hockey. They don't even do that that much. It's sad that everything has to be so indoors when you're trying to promote people to go outside and have fun. It is. So pretty much you have to opt for football. And as some of you say on Twitter, they don't even play football around here. So you have all this snow going on, and people are not playing football in the snow. They're not playing hockey in the snow. A lot of people aren't going to play basketball in the snow because of how wet and slippery it is outside on the asphalt. So, you got to be kidding me here. And of course, when you have bad snowstorms, a lot of places are closed, which would mean people would like to go outside where you don't have to worry about all that stuff and say, hey, we can just go here and play. But you can't even do that now. It's kind of sad. But, like I said, speaking of hockey, I want you to listen to this Islanders fan, as I find this hilarious because I think she's just giving a little bit too much information, on TV, mind you, to us fans.
In 82, my son was conceived back in that parking lot here at an Islander game.
The epitome of class, because when keeping it real goes wrong, that's way too much information. As far as I'm concerned, I feel sad for that kid, or I guess he's a grown-up by now because given her age, that grown-up having his mom get on TV and say it. I'm sure he was like, Mom, what the fuck? I'm sure that's what he's like. That's crazy. Anyways, I'm done for the week, when it comes to sports, or at least I should be done. We'll see what happens over the weekend, see if anything big comes up. Anyways, I'll talk to you then. Y'all be safe. I'm out.